Welcome. I've just been for a dip in the river, so I'm feeling refreshed and a little cold. And now for another treat, just to be so beautiful here. And I guess the challenge, the invitation is to feel that sense of fulfillment in any situation, of course. Otherwise life just goes up and down and up and down and up and down, and then we're dead. But many of us get to a point when a point in our life when we aim for something deeper. We're looking for something deeper, some deeper meaning, and some deeper sense of fulfillment, Maybe something that isn't dependent upon external conditions. How amazing would that be? If whatever our conditions, there was this sense of satisfaction. Of course, there's always going to be a natural desire to improve our life, to improve our health. But what if that natural desire just unfolded without stress, without any neediness? Because wherever we are, there's a sense of fulfillment in whatever is going on. There's this hum. But deeper than that, there's this realization, experiential sense of spaciousness, of non-separation, of non-localization. There's this understanding, lived and felt, that we are the infinite, that it's so hard to put into words. It's impossible to put into words, because it's what words are made of. It's what this whole thing is made of. To arrive into that place where we realize what we're made of. So I was meditating this morning, and I realized that this direct experience thing is right here. I always say it, but it's something quite different to feel it. The I that we are is not an object. So we look at the world and we see objects. We look at a thought and we see object. And that's what I mean by object. I mean objective thing. A thought, a sensation, a feeling, something we see, a perception. The world is made up of objects. But the I that we are, is not an object. You are aware. That is your primary experience. right now. You're not an object. And the awareness is not objective. We can't grab it. So when I was sitting this morning, the mind was like, oh yeah, so it's so obvious that I'm not an object. And so then what? I am consciousness. I am conscious. And the consciousness that I feel is who I am. That becomes very clear when we just sit and we ask ourselves, who am I? Who are we? It's right here. And it doesn't matter if there's thoughts passing through. Of course, thoughts pass through. That's what thoughts do. Nothing wrong with that. It's amazing. We don't have to attach ourselves to them, get lost in them. We are consciousness. So important to remember who we are. My teacher Rupert Spira often tells the story, the metaphor of John Smith, the actor who plays King Lear. And he plays it so well that he comes off the stage and he goes backstage, and his friend comes into the room and congratulates him and finds him utterly miserable and says, "Why are you so miserable? You did such a good performance." And he says, "Because my daughters hate me," and he starts saying all these reasons that are King Lear. They're King Lear's reasons. And he says, "Well, don't be silly. You're not King Lear. That was just you on the stage." But he's miserable. But he's miserable not because of the problems that King Lear is having. He's miserable because he's forgotten who he is. When we remember who we are, things still arise, life still happens, people may be horrible to us, and that kind of stuff always happens. But we know who we are. Very, very, very different. So our calling is to remember who we are. Not just simply to tend to the problems without tending to who we really are. We are not the person we think we are. We are who we directly experience that we are. We are not objects. We are not a collection of objects of thoughts. We are not this collection of labels. Age, nationality, gender, etc. That is not our experience. That is not our actual experience. Our actual experience is that the primary experience is awareness, is consciousness. Our primary experience is that consciousness is conscious. Awareness is aware. And that awareness isn't limited. It cannot be divided up. It cannot be separated. Our mind can say all kinds of things, but if we go to the experience of awareness and ask awareness itself, ask yourself, do I experience myself divided? So really it's an invitation to just be who we are. You hear it a lot, right? Be who you are. Be yourself. Just be yourself. But most people are like, well, I am myself. I mean, what does that mean? Yeah, we are already ourselves. But we don't go to the thinking mind to find out who we really are. We go to our primary experience and stay there. And then we see that everything passes through that, everything arises from it, dissolves into it. All the thoughts, all the ideas about who we are, they're all made of that stuff. But we are not that objective stuff. We are not the movie, we are the screen that the movie is made of. But the screen is infinite. It doesn't have edges to it. Thank you.